live. Yeah, we going live. Hey, we going live. Yeah, we going live. Yeah, we going. Yeah, we going. Yeah, we going live. From the 50-yard line, we going live. From the 50-yard line, we going live. From the 50-yard line. Hey.
All right, who's really right?
Yep.
Now, as much as I haven't rooted for Alabama, the one thing that's undeniable is their dominance. They have dominated this college football playoff system, having won, I believe, 3 of the
last 5?
3 of the last
5?
Has it been 5? Clemson won 2.
Clemson won 6.
LSU.
Because
Ohio State won in 15.
I know they won 11 of the last.
Oh yeah.
15 or something crazy, some stupid number like that.
The SEC,
11 of the last 17.
I think it's the SEC in total has won
11 out of, and they've won 7 of those 11.
7 of the 11, yeah.
Yeah.
So no, 6 of the 11.
This was 7 because didn't it pass Bear Bryant right here?
No,
right?
So that first one that he won.
Uh-huh.
So Nick Saban has won 7 of the last 11.
Okay.
But remember his first one in 2004 was with LSU.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay, you're right.
So, so he's won 7 of the last 11. But
this is 6 for
Alabama.
Either way,
yeah. Right? That's dominance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You won 50% of your conference's championships.
Right.
But this week for our Who's Really Right, the question is this the best Alabama team that we've seen of all time? Yeah.
Because that was said. What's the kid's name? I'm drawing a blank. Now I'm acting like you.
Right. I was just about to say now, you just got on me for this.
Right. I can't think of his name. Anyway, but yeah, the MVP, that was his comment.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, yes.
Devontae. I can't think of the child.
Devontae Smith.
Yep, that's him.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was like, this is the best Alabama team of all times. Well, sir.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't agree.
Yeah. You know what? We didn't even discuss this Who's Really Right.
No.
Because we're both on the same side of it.
Oh, really?
Well, you know what, though?
We can say which one we think is best, though.
We can. But I think when we merged this topic, this is the Who's Really Right is going to be more so about the conference. Right?
Yeah, because we definitely on different sides of that. Yeah.
So we're in agreement that this isn't the best Alabama team of all time.
But which one would
you say?
Okay, because I'm saying 2011.
2011?
Yep. That was Matt Barron, Dante Hightower, Barrett Jones, Dre Kirkpatrick, Daquan Mincy, Trent Richardson, and Courtney Upshaw.
Okay, I can't remember if this was 16, but whichever one Derrick Henry was on. I'm taking Derrick Henry over the
just
field.
by himself,
yes.
right?
Whichever one had Derrick Henry.
You're funny.
Trent Richardson was on that team too, right? In 11 that you were talking about. Was he the running back on that team?
Richardson.
Oh, you said his name. Okay,
I said his name. Yeah.
But
no, for real.
Man, I think about how dominant he was of a running back. And
I
mean, all of these Alabama it's running back.
Yeah, but they very similar. Like Trent Richardson and Derrick Henry were very similar. The makeup, the build, they were two just tall, big dudes.
Right.
To me, but no, that team right there, and not just because of the people who went on to do go to the NFL, but because they lost one game that year to LSU at the very beginning of the year.
Right.
And then they stomped. It wasn't just everybody the rest of the year, including LSU.
Yeah.
When they had to see them again.
When they had to play them again.
Yeah.
that this team was really good. I'm not trying to. I feel like the people who asked this are just being prisoners of the moment. And I'm not trying to devalue this championship at all.
This one that they just won?
Yeah, the one that they just won. Like their dominance is it was apparent. They were head and shoulders above,
right?
In the entire NCAA, and I think that's a credit to Nick Saban in the way that he runs that program, right?
Correct.
But I think when you think about this COVID shortened season and just the inequity in teams being able to play and being able to prepare and just so much went into this season. I don't even know if a lot of teams were able to even reach their potential, right? I'm not saying that I feel like Alabama would have won this championship anyway.
Yeah, they were a buzzsaw.
They
were
Nick
a
Saban
buzzsaw.
Always has them ready to play.
Yeah,
there are just times where another team just may be a little bit better, right? Because those Clemson teams that beat them just a little bit better.
Right?
Wanted it a little bit more,
right?
And so, I don't think that very many of the teams had the opportunity to realize that potential. Like you remember when we were talking about the Ohio State versus Clemson game, I told you the only reason why I thought that they would win that game is because Dabo had given them bulletin board material. But I knew that they weren't talented enough to beat Alabama.
No, we talked about that. We knew if they saw them, it was over. But I'm not. So what we're not going to do, though, is give them COVID as an excuse, because that's the same reason you didn't give them an excuse to get in, because that was my point. They didn't play enough games to be there. But Y'all just ran into the buzzsaw.
They were a talented enough team to make it. You know what I'm saying? Hands down. We saw what they did to Clemson.
Yeah.
But it's just the season. And I promise I'm not taking anything away from Alabama. I'm not. I feel like it could have been more of a competitive game. Even though I feel like Alabama would have still won the championship, it could have been a more competitive game. And so I feel like even with that, like we kind of were robbed of that. And this is the reason why I didn't even want it to be a championship, right? Because some people are going to run and say, you heard people saying, like, is there an asterisk by this championship?
Of course. Always want to put an asterisk by something.
Right. Which I don't feel like is fair, but
correct.
Like people are asking those questions for a reason.
Yeah.
Just like they asked it about the Lakers and the NBA. Oh, well, they went to the bubble and
it
was
whatever. It was harder. So
yeah, right. You know how them old jokers.
Not the old jokers.
The old jokers, the Pippins, and now I love Shaq, man, but Shaq got to be quiet.
Oh,
he just hating.
Well,
a little too
you
much
hear
now.
that? Okay, Shaq. Okay.
He sounds like the old head,
salty old head. Yeah.
Who like, this ain't the hip hop I grew up on. It's a natural.
Everything is right. It's it evolves. That's what the world is about. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I don't know, but either way, they were a buzzsaw. And I think what we're about to talk about is the who's really right, really.
Yeah.
Is
the SEC.
The thing. The SEC is just has dominated, which was the indication where the 11 out of the 15 or whatever, 14, whatever it was, last championships have gone
to an
SEC school, and they always end up in the playoffs or championship game.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So, in my opinion, yes, the SEC is dominant. I always say this. I always say the same thing. It's just not fair because the SEC is a bunch of grown men.
Yeah. And that's how I guess we got to this topic, because my thing about the SEC is that they are top heavy. Because how many teams have we seen from the SEC that have won those national championships. We already said that Alabama had more than 50% of them, right?
Right.
So to me, that speaks more to the level of dominance of Alabama and not the SEC in total. And one of the things that I use to argue that point is the SEC's win-loss record in bowl games, right? They were a little better this year. Definitely not dominant. They were a little better. The second place team in the league got blown off the field by like 30 points. Now, in fairness, we did speak
Wait, are we talking about Clemson?
No, Florida. Florida was the second place team in the SEC.
Okay, I was like the second place team. That was
no.
Okay.
So, and I'm using that argument to say that the conference itself, isn't the dominant part of it. It's the top heavy. You know what I'm saying? You know, Alabama's gonna always be there.
Yeah.
Georgia may slide in every once in a while. Auburn may slide in every once in a while, but Kentucky, you may get a flash in the pan season here or there. Tennessee, like, are they dominant? No. Vandy is the bottom of the league, you know, and so it's not that I don't have respect for the SEC. I forgot all about South Carolina. Do they even still play football?
You know.
That was disrespectful. I'm sorry. I know. I'm just picking, but.
Yeah, them Gamecocks coming for you, baby.
Yeah, they are. Okay. I apologize. I know a couple Gamecocks. I'm being funny, y'all.
Yeah.
But no, I just really think that the conference itself isn't dominant. I think that the few top heavy teams in the conference, led by Alabama, are what bolster everyone's feelings about the SEC.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I mean, I guess if you know, my question is always like, what's the criteria that we're basing it on? And so you just said your criteria is bowl games.
Mm-hmm.
And I look more at just the season overall.
Right.
And when they're not playing, like this year's an exception, but when they're not playing just SEC teams,
right?
What does that look like? And I see in those situations most of the time, even if it's a Texas A&M or Missouri or which are the two newest to the conference, right? Yeah. But even if it's one of them, because you're right, like a Tennessee or Vanderbilt, those are the they're in the conference, but they're not really like. You know what I mean?
Every conference has teams like those.
Right. And so, but these other teams, typically when they play outside of the conference, just regular season, I'm talking regular season.
Right.
They dominate the teams that they play.
Well, one of the things we got to look at with that is opponents, right? Because, well, we didn't get to play an SEC team when I was in college.
Yeah,
there were a few times where Alabama played South Carolina. I mean, not South Carolina State, Savannah State, right? You know what I'm saying? And so, obviously, in those situations, you're going to see,
right?
You know,
they in it for the money. That ain't what that's about,
right? I'd be interested in seeing more of it, and that's the only reason. In fairness, that's the only reason why I use bowl games, because we know that they're going to be more evenly matched, right? You don't want to have blowouts during bowl games. You want to have a competitive product that people are going to look at.
Somebody forgot to tell Florida, but
no, nobody told Florida this year. Yeah. No, but you think about it, like, okay, so Georgia beat Cincinnati by 2 points, right? Conventionally, we would have said to ourselves, Cincinnati doesn't belong on the field with Georgia.
Okay, I'm gonna give you that. Well, this year, I would have said yes because they went 9-0. But
I would have said that too, right? But if you think about how they were done in the rankings, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, that's the idea that people had of them. Like, oh, I mean, Cincinnati, like they played well in their conference, but you know, and I think that mindset of, you know, it's more parity now, right?
It is.
Players can go anywhere and get attention. They can get looked at.
That's right.
And so that's why I said when we had this conversation in years past, maybe in the early 2000s through all the way through, you know, the 2010s.
Yeah.
Like hands down, SEC the best conference of all.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Even in my opinion, above the ACC, you know, that them early 2000 Miami teams were like
they were beasts. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah. You know.
No, I see it. And I'll say the telltale to that for me. I mean, I'm still gonna say I feel like they're dominant, but some of the telltale to the parity in some of these other conferences being looked at a little differently is when you see, I mean, obviously, because I'm from Georgia, I follow Georgia football. Right. And so when you see Justin Fields go to Ohio State, or you see, what was the kid's name that was there before he came?
For Justin Fields?
Oh my God, he went to Washington.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly who you're talking about. Cannot think of his name right now. Jake Fromm.
No, Jake Fromm didn't go. No, not Jake Fromm. Jake Fromm came after Justin Fields. That's why Justin Fields left.
No, Jake Fromm was there already, and then Justin Fields
came, and he didn't get any playing time. He
didn't get his playing time.
But no, it's another kid that was Jake Fromm took his job.
Oh, yes.
He was the number one quarterback coming out of high school at the time when he graduated high school, and he came to Georgia, but he transferred to Washington.
Yes.
And he got hurt, and then Jake Fromm took his job.
Right.
I can't think of the
never got it
name.
Back.
He never got it back.
I want to say it was against Tennessee too. That Jake Fromm came in.
He never came out after that. So that but those, and then a Jalen Hurts leaving Alabama and going to Oklahoma, those are situations that kind of give you the idea of the parity that is happening.
Right.
But nonetheless, let's just be clear. They started out because that's what they thought was the dominant. That's what they wanted to be dominant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, that's the thing about it. Whether it's top heavy or it's some balance in there somewhere. Either way, the mystique of the league, of the conference, attracts the best.
Well, I mean, but you can even say like these players who are in SEC territory, like a Deshaun Watson, who said, "No, I'm not gonna go to Georgia. I'm gonna go to South Carolina." You know what I'm saying? Like, so you do have your transfers, but you got players who are deeply entrenched in SEC territory who are making decisions to go other places, right?
Yeah.
And I want to say, what was the kid's name a few years ago? He and his brother kind of ended up in like this little money scandal. He had committed to South Carolina, but he ended up going to Ole Miss. Robert Kimdiche.
Kimdiche. Yeah. He played at Grayson with Wayne Gallman.
Right. Yeah. So I think he had originally he ended up going to Ole Miss. I guess that tears all of my story.
Well, no. So I know the backstory on this one.
Okay. Let me hear it.
He didn't want to go to Ole Miss, but his brother was there.
Yeah.
And his parents are Nigerian, I believe.
Okay.
It wasn't no choice. You're going where your brother is. Period.
Well, a part of that though, because you know, after he graduated, after he got drafted, the whole thing came out where they had given him money, and I think that's why I can't remember who the coach was then, but that's why the coach had gotten fired.
Yeah, no, it was messy.
Yeah,
but he was miserable. You remember what happened?
Yeah.
Falling out of one. Yeah, so Jesus, Lord, help the baby. Yeah,
oh, Lord, help it. Well, you know, we could talk about this all day.
Yeah.
Because when we talked about this on the phone, like we went back and forth.
We were like, "Oh, this is good. We're gonna be So you all have to let us know who's really right."
Yes, and I promise we're gonna do a better job of engaging you guys on who's really right, because I have not done a good job the last few weeks. I know. I'm sorry, guys, but you can still under the comments and on our YouTube page, let us know who you think is really right. But like I said, well, I'm actually, while I'm cutting this up tonight, I'm going to just put out a picture and put something out to say, you guys let us know who's really right.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So I say yes, they're dominant. Jarrett says no.
I say no.
Let us know.
Well, no. Okay.
No, that's what you're saying, right?
No, I'm not saying that I'm saying that they're top heavy. So we look at the league as being dominant, and I wouldn't say that the league in its entirety is dominant, because when you speak about the SEC, like it's usually 2 or 3 teams in the SEC who are dominant, with a team here or there rising out of the ashes. But the rest of them, I think they are made to look good because of the Alabama and the occasional Auburn or Florida or Georgia.
Okay.
I already saw as soon as you look like that,
like, wait a minute, sir.
Nah, but y'all let us know who's really right.
Yeah.
Now put the cameras on me, 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 put the cameras on me.